Here we are, second attempt at doing this. I've completed the most difficult part once. Now to do it all over again for your viewing pleasure. So, I've got these off because they are rusty, and the rust has buggered up the seals and it's leaked all the fluid out, and without the fluid, it ain't much a suspension, which is being affected because it was riding like shit. Put my hand on the top yoke and pushed it, and it just went all the way down to the ground. Well, bottomed out, whatever. So, new seals. A word to the wise, do not leave your motorcycle outside for 6 years. Something is going to go wrong. They don't like bad weather. They don't like rain, which is really annoying because I like to ride all year round, and riding all year round means my bikes get fucked. But this wasn't my bike. I didn't leave it outside, and I would never have done that because bikes live in garages and you ride them in the rain and then you put them back in the garage. Just don't leave them outside. Anyway, had to get the front end off with this gravity-defying thing. I don't really understand how it works, but it does. There's a little pin that goes into the bottom of the yoke. You hitch it up. And to get these out, there are 6 bolts. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. On both sides. And then there's 2 on the bottom of the triple tree. Undo those. And then pop them off. But you want to loosen off the wheel first. Pull out the spindle. No, don't do that. Loosen off the wheel first. Then hitch it up. Take off the mud guard, all that junk. It's fairly self-explanatory. I don't need to give you a tutorial on that. It's straightforward enough. And get these things off. Now, if you watched the first video I did on how to change the fork seals on a ZX12R, it's a similar concept because it just is. I've got to get this thing out first, which I haven't done yet. And before anybody gives me any shit about holding this stuff in a vise, this vise has got brass jaws, and I don't really care that much. It's just aesthetics. Like, it's just a bit of the fucking bike you're not going to see anyway. Well, he says, just stay. Fucking cool. It's not going to stay, is it? Right, undo these pinch bolts, which were in themselves a bit of a pain in the arse because I had to heat them up so that the heads didn't round off. Sometimes you wonder how many of these bolts are actually necessary. This bolt holds that thing, and that thing screws into the other thing, and that's all held tight. This is all held tight. It's like, I don't know, man. It feels like it's over-engineered. But anyway, sorry if I'm heavily breathing. I'm wearing my helmet. Stay. I'm wearing my helmet so you can get a first person view because I don't have any other cameras right now. So, enjoy. It's fucking hot in here. This one. Into there. You want to screw it in as far as you can, really, because you really want the thread to be bottomed out. Otherwise, you'll fuck the thread up. Pop that out, like such. Because this is in the way. Now remember which one is which. I don't know if it's important, but it might be. Who knows? So, I'm going to illustrate the fact by putting this one here with that. There we go, see? And I'm going to put this one in the bin. No. Put this one over here in this little tray. Right. I need to turn the air on because I need the air tool. So this is a 8mm Allen key that I cut the end off, put it in there, Put it on that. Put it in here. Make sure it's seated down nicely. Avoid any excess shit that might prevent it from seating nicely. And then, ready, 1, 2. Bob's your uncle. Ta-da! We will address the fork seals later. Maybe even on a different day. Okay, so firstly, you've got to get this grub screw out. This grub screw, what they do is they swage the alley of the thingy over the grub screw so it can't come out. I actually have a slight sneaky suspicion that they don't intend these things to be serviced. I don't think they anticipate people leaving their bikes outside for 6 years. So, first things first, this is a 5.2mm drill. You can get, that's about the right size. It worked on the last one, so drill it out, but only a little bit. You just want to drill off the aluminium. It doesn't matter if I fuck this up, because this is going in the bin. If you're intending to keep these, I wonder what's wrong with you, because you're only changing them. You wouldn't go through all of this hassle if you don't want them anymore. So, here we go. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Until the hexagon underneath is revealed. Where's me little picky thicky? Come here, you. Get over here. This. So we see here. Oh, maybe a little bit more. You don't want to go too far into the grub screw and lose the head. There, you'll tell the difference between aluminium and steel. Steel, not so friendly. Aluminium, a bit wimpy. Clean all that out of there, because you want the deepest possible hole in which to apply your tool. Isn't that right, lads? Right. Previously, I heated this up first, and then I didn't, and then I did, and I didn't. So, what I'm going to do, this is the grub screw we're trying to remove. It's just a grub screw. Ain't nothing special. I don't even know if it really does anything. I think it's more of a theory. So, I'm using the Torx bit, because it just feels like the right thing to do. Oh, shit. I'd rather get a bit more bite on it than just use a hex bit over a couple of mil. Once you round it off, you've got to drill it out. I mean, you can drill it out anyway, if you want, because you're destroying the whole fucking thing anyway. Oh. Okay, we're going to heat it up. Where's that gone? Oh, fire!
They're locked-sided in. Everything is locked-sided. Everything is thread locked to flat, and it makes the whole thing a lot more difficult than it needs to be. You hear ticking and popping. That's just what happens. Might be some smoke. That's what happens. Just going to heat it up a bit. Just to loosen off that thread locker. Look at all this gunk boiling. All that boily gunk shit. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Disgusting. Try this again. It worked alright the last time.
There we go. Yeah, fuck off. Once you get it going, it shouldn't put up much fight, but just the socket in it isn't very deep. Partly because it never was, and partly because you drilled the top end of it off. Oh, stay still. You? What flavour are you? 20. Oh, ho, ho. The day. The day. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, Lord Jesus. Right, now that, now that shit's out of the way. Oh my god. Right. Here we go, grooving. Nice and tight. Now what you gotta do is you gotta take one of these. Now, I found this on there. And what I've done is I've drilled and tapped it, M8, and then, where's that thing? There's that thing. And then what I did is I got an M8 bolt, and, let me show you. I ground the end of it down so that it fits in there. I'm smart. The M6, I didn't like it, it was a bit rattly. I wanted something to be a tight fit, so put that in there. So what you need to do is find yourself a friendly scaffolder, and borrow one of these things. I don't know if they're called clamps or knuckles or what they're called, and a length of scaffolding pipe, probably be the best plan, and then stick that shit around there. Don't worry about the rubber was a previous idea that I had. It didn't work. I was supposed to add more friction. It worked a little bit, but not as much as I wanted it to. Do that up. Doesn't really have to be that tight, to be honest. You're not really gripping it, you're just having a device to clamp this with. Do this up into that hole. We are away. You can spend quite a lot on a kit to do this, and it'll be all different sizes and everything. This is all different sizes. And fuck it. Who wants to spend a lot of money on something you're only going to do once? You can, you know, if you're a mechanic, you probably want the kit, but if you're not a mechanic, like me, being an engineer, just improvise. Improvise. Fuck's that noise? Oh, it's really hot in here, in my hat. Now, attack it with the spray of destiny. The redneck aftershave. Aquavite, whatever you want to call it. Get it in there. Of course, it'd probably be easier if you let it actually get in there. Off you fuck. I don't know what the angles are like on this thing because I'm wearing it's on the side of my head and I don't know. Right, bit more goop. Now what I found from doing the other one is that it's fucked, mate. Little known fact, stainless steel and aluminium react badly and they actually corrode each other very, very aggressively. Not like sodium in water aggressively, but you know, you leave it and it will just start to do this shit. Some of this is thread locker and some of this is corrosion. The corrosion comes off the aluminium being the softer material and basically shags it. See that there's bits of alley in the teeth here. Regardless of where you send this to be done, which professionals do it for you, this will be the end result because there's no way around it. Unless you were to cut down the inside of that, but then you really do run the risk of fucking up the thread anyway. So just do that. Just do that. And then we're going to heat it up. I'm not going to use a blowtorch because I haven't got that much gas left. I have this blow hot gun. And I'm going to heat that up for a bit, and you'll start. And you'll start to see bubbles coming out the top of here. And then when you start to see the bubbles, you'll start to hear clicks, and there'll be some smoke coming out the chimney. Then turn it, and good luck to you. I will do a really quick version of that now. Four, 7, 7. Bubbles. See the bubbles? Oh, the bubbles. Now, it don't sound great. If it starts to get stiff, heat it up some more. Come on. So, I snapped the end of the bolt. I bent it as fuck now. I'm just trying to snap the end of that back off and make another bolt. Oh dear me. Right. Turn that dreadful noise off. Here we go. There he is. Hopefully we've still got some thread left. Look at the fucking state of it. That's what you get for using too much thread lock. There's a goo in there as well. Disgusting. Right, now we've got to tidy it up. First, I might let it cool down for a bit. Give it a spritz. Let it cool down for a bit, let me cool down for a bit. I made this thing out of a hacksaw blade. You see, bent it so I can get in there and clean the threads out because I don't have a thread file for this. And they're all kinds of fucking shited up. It looks like pretty much lost the entire top half where the thread locker was. But unless anyone's got any better ideas on how to do this, I think that's really the only option. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use some of that there Scotch Brite, and some of this fucking aquavitae, and the airline and all that shit, And then what I'm going to do is get the new tube, not that one, the one in there. I'm going to cover it in WD-40 and chase the thread out a bit. Go down as far as it'll go before it gets tight, pull it back out, clean it up again, again and again and again until I'm fairly certain it bottoms out. Once it's clean, it should look like this. Got all this shit out of there. It's not quite as bad as it looks once you've cleaned it up. There's a little washery thing in here. Don't know why. This just sits on there. I think it's a seal. There's also a seal around here as well. Make sure all of that is clean before endeavouring to put the new tube in. Right, when you've chased your thread out using the new tube, because the tube will cut the aluminium, and mostly you just want it to clear out any little burrs and broken bits of thread, which there are, it's time to put the new tube in. What I did, just wandering around with this, what I did before I took the tube out is I measured how high it was from the spindle clamp, so that I know how deep to go back into. And what I noticed while chasing it out with the fork tube was that it was stopping right about where that seal is in there. So I've got some red rubber grease left over from the last fork seals I did all those many moons ago. I'm going to put a bit of that on the seal, just to help everything slide together nicely, because if it's getting stuck there and I'm graunching it in and it doesn't go any further and I've got thread lock on it, it's all gone tits up, hasn't it? So slap a bit of that on there, nice and hunky-dory. I am flagging here, dude. I haven't eaten today, because that's what it's like when you're like, got things to do, you're like, let's go do them, and then, you know, dying. So this one, my long lost brother. Give him a quick clean off with a white part of a t-shirt, just to make sure there's nothing in that thread and there's no WD-40 on it, because that will ruin any surprises. Cool, we're good, we're fancy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind this down all the way as far as it'll go, and then I'm going to put the thread lock in through this hole, because I don't want that much in there, and I also want to make sure we get down as far as we can without spreading it around too much. I have a sneaky suspicion I might need to use a bit of heat to get this in all the way, because that's what life be like sometimes. Seems contrary to use the heat to do it up with, but let's face it, if I'm having to put heat on it to do it up, it is not going to come undone, threadlock or not. It seems like some mad security measures just to stop something from undoing that is not going to undo anyway. Like, why would it undo? It's like the finest pitch in the fucking world. How's it going to undo? Like, I know there's vibration and stuff, but come on. Hot. See what you've got for us. Oh, that's much easier. Oh, wow. Ooh. Kinky. Come on, in you go. Let's get a bit hot over here. Hot, hot, hot. Best idea in the world. Oh, we've hit the bottom. That is it. Okay, so I'm going to come back out and turn this to cool, let it cool down before I turn it off. Everything falls over. Wonderful. Come back out a little bit. Just a couple of turns. Well, 3 if you want to be precise. This green goot, chuck lots of it in there. That'll do you. That's it. That's it, it's done. Try and get this thing back out of here now. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Get out of it. My life. Okay, and while that's got the green shit in it, get myself a little grub screw. A little grubby grub screw. B&M 6. Stick that bad boy in there. And we're away, lads. So, as you can see, if it only goes in that far, that's the reason the socket wasn't very deep on the one I removed, because it had been machined off and whatever else. But enough stud lock. That's not going anywhere. None of that's going anywhere. That is finito. Very nice. Now I should get on to the second one. You don't need to see it again, do you? Right, I'm finished for today. It's 25 to 8 and I haven't eaten yet. I've got the tubes on, and next thing is to do the fork seals. I'm probably not going to make a video on that because you've seen it all before if you've been watching my channel. But thank you for watching. I hope you learnt something or at least enjoyed. And stay tuned for more.